welcome back to another video. Today I am doing a garden tour. If you hear a hum, I have my monitor on. My son is taking his nap. So I'm gonna start right here. So for the GREENSTALKs, I'm really happy with how they turned out. Some things, I did mostly everything from seed in them, and some things did not come up. But I haven't had to fertilize them once, and that's really exciting. I probably will here soon. And we're just gonna take a walk through the garden, and honestly, I'm going to share my problems I'm having in the garden. Yeah, I'm having some issues. Oh, my dog is trying to get a lizard, and it's hilarious. We are having some problems in the garden. I'm going to share with you just kind of how I feel like I'm failing, but we're gonna see if we can make it through this garden season with some produce. It'll be by the grace of God I get some produce, but yeah, let me take you around and let me show you what we got, and we're gonna start with these GREENSTALKs. So it's pretty bright today, so I'm sorry if we can't see very well, but this one has mainly some cilantro. Both of them have a lot of beans. I did bush beans in them, but we have a lot of cilantro growing. I've already harvested from the cilantro, and that will be in another video. I'm kind of trying to preserve what I can of the cilantro so I can make salsa later on, because tomatoes are not even near ready. I have a little few things of basil finally starting to come up. I don't know how long they'll last, just because we're getting into the hot heat. But we have, I'm gonna put the variety on the screen because I'm forgetting it, but we have a bush bean variety, we have cilantro. I planted nasturtium in here and not a single one came up for some reason. It was the butterscotch nasturtium. And then we have basil in here. And then I have been sticking in, sorry, the lighting's so bad, guys. I have been sticking in some pepper plants just where things are empty. Over here on the black one, we have another variety of bush beans. They are the, I'll put them on the screen. I believe they're the dragon tongue bush beans. I'm sticking in some pepper plants. I got some pepperoncinis. The beans are looking amazing. The nasturtium in this one came up. It is the peach mabella, I believe. I'll put it on the screen. I decided to experiment and put a tomato plant in here, and this is an Amish paste, and this is the best tomato on my entire in my entire garden that's growing. It's the biggest one I have, so it's doing beautiful. I am seriously so pleased with how this is turning out. I'm just so happy that revitalizing my soil worked. So that's what the GREENSTALKs look like, and I'm just super happy with it. Okay, so I'm sorry if you can't see stuff because it is so bright out here. I can barely see the screen. But I bought, this was kind of a last minute purchase. This was not part of the plan for this year, but we came across these nectarine trees that Costco is carrying, and I've been really wanting nectarine trees. The varieties are, we have a flavor top nectarine, and then the other one is a flavor gold nectarine. So I'm not sure on the varieties. I feel like I had heard that this one is really good, but I decided just to get two, and we got to get them in the ground like ASAP. But this is the carrot bed. The carrots are seeming to doing amazing. I did pull one out the other day, and they're a little bitter because I think we're getting this hot heat, and they're not looking too big. So I might have to pull them. I don't know how carrots will turn out in such hot heat because we are just getting hotter from here on out. But the vegetation is beautiful, and I'm so happy with how they're looking. This is my lettuce bed. The lettuce is doing amazing. We're getting really hot, so I feel like I might lose this week, but I'm not positive. We have been eating salads literally every day. I got my parsnips here. I need to pull one of those up to see if those are close to being ready. My herb bed is doing beautiful. Why aren't we focusing? I'll put varieties on the screen. I've done that before. I did pop in a tomato plant here just because I'm running out of space. I got a, well, there's a weed, and then there is a I believe this is lemon thyme I did pop in there. So the sage is kind of taking over. I can't remember if I showed this, but I took the strawberries out of the GREENSTAK and I planted them on this side of this garden bed. And then here, again, we have some more carrots. I think these are not gonna do very well with just the heat that we're coming. Like, we're getting close to the hundreds, guys. So I randomly popped in just a lot of tomato plants in here and then some pepper plants because I was just trying to find spots for them. I literally ran out of space in the other garden, so. Okay, we got the peach trees here. I'll put the varieties on the screen because I'm always forgetting what they are. I believe this is the Alberta. But we got peaches, guys. Look how beautiful those are. I'm just so happy with how things are turning in. We got almost all of our drip done for everything, so I don't have to worry about anything this summer. It's all on timers. This is the Tri-Light peach. It's just doing fabulous. So sorry if the lighting's bad. Okay, so out here in front of the garden, I got some pots. I put marigold in here. This is the lemon balm that I just harvested. You should see that in a different video. I'll link it if I've already posted it, but this video might come out first. And then we did the blueberries along the ground here, just near the kind of the bigger garden. And they're doing amazing, guys. They just love our native soil. And I just mulched them in with some wood chips, except that last one. I need to do that last one, but I'll put the 3 different varieties of the different blueberries we have. So, okay, in this pot, I have some apple mint. This pot, I put some nasturtium in there. I'm forgetting which variety I did. I think it's the peach one. And then this, I put some fun sunflowers in. That'll put the variety on the screen. Okay, so don't judge me out here because things are a mess. But I have been dealing with gophers and it's really frustrating. They've been eating all of my garlic. They've been taking out tomato plants. I just feel like I'm not getting, it's gonna be a miracle if I get produce this year, guys. We did make this mistake when we put in these wooden beds right here to not put hardwire cloth under. Our ground is so hard out here, and it just amazes me that the gophers can live out here and dig through this dirt because it's so hard. Anyways, so they've figured out how to get to my garden bed though. Before I planted in these 2 behind me, we ended up taking all the dirt out and putting the hardwire cloth under there. So I was able to plant those up without any, but I had back in November, I planted my garlic and he's eaten more than half of it. We did try to poison him, which now I'm feeling like that's a big mistake because now I don't feel like my soil is safe. You guys can tell me your experience on that. We just did on the side, but I don't think he's even dead because another garlic's gone down. So I'm dealing with gopher problems and it's really frustrating. It's discouraging when you put a lot of work into your garden, and this bed is basically unusable. So it's frustrating. So let me know what you guys would do if you did try to poison it in your vegetable garden bed, because now I'm feeling like I want to scoop up the entire dirt and just not use it anymore. So we'll see. We've tried trapping. We've tried the repellents. Nothing's really working. So if you guys have any tips and tricks that work, let me know. So this is what this garden bed is looking like. He's eaten more than half of my garlic. I think I did like 35, and we have, well, maybe not more than half, but we have 18 left, I think. I'm keeping count just to make sure he's not dead. I did have onions here, and before we tried to poison him, I pulled them out because I didn't want to take that chance. I have a alyssum flower here that I'm probably gonna dig up and put somewhere else, but haven't done the drip in this one, so because we're most likely gonna dig it up, put hardwire cloth under. My fear in doing that though is that he's just gonna go to my actual in-ground beds that I don't have a choice because I can't put hardwire cloth under. Okay, so moving on. we have basically a lot of peppers and tomatoes in each of them. This is the year for tomatoes and pepper, hopefully. And hopefully next year I won't have to do very much. But we have a black beauty. I had cucumbers here and only one came up. So I just decided to put this tomato plant here because it needed a spot. And it will share with the cucumber, that's a Persian cucumber and a black, Brandywine black tomato. And then we have our, these are determinate style tomatoes. I'll put the variety on the screen. And then we have some zucchinis here on the front that I'm hoping just to let dangle over. We have more cucumbers. We have our Armenian cucumbers. And then on the end there, I put those little mouse melons, which they're not getting very big. Here on the back side of this bed, I put some peppers that are not doing too hot, honestly. They are the habanadas peppers. So, and then we have a zinnia. These little things were like telling me where I put seed, so I can take those off now. In this little 4x4 bed, I have 4 tomato plants. We have the Italian Roma and some more Amish paste in this one. Those are doing awesome. And then I put the nata pinos in this bed. And then here in the front, I have a pumpkin. I'm going to put what they look like on the screen because that might be kind of fun, but it's the Lumina pumpkin, and I'm hoping these will just drape off. And I don't have anything here. I think I was kind of waiting to see how big that pumpkin get, but I think I might do another one just to drape off. And I'm kind of going with the square foot method gardening. As you can see, I've been using my square foot gardener. I'll link that. But we also have lots of weeds, the joys of organic gardening, right? But yeah, I'm really happy with how these are turning out. Now that it's finally getting warm, I'm starting to see progress. Okay, so here we have our 16 by 8 in-ground bed, and I planted some corn. We have a cucumber right here on the end. I'm forgetting the name. It's the tender green burpless. And then we did some pole beans here just over the trellis. This side I put some just different varieties of squashes. I think they're both I'm trying to think. Oh, spaghetti squash. We have an angel hair spaghetti squash and then a normal spaghetti squash. That's like the one squash that me and my husband really, I mean, I like all squashes, but this is the one he really likes. So I wanted to do a lot of them. I know I probably overcrowded them, but yeah, we'll see how they do. I might rip one out if they're getting too overcrowded. Here on the ends, I did 2 black beauty tomato plants. And then I have one variety of corn there, and then I kind of planted it late, but there's another variety of corn in here that is just starting to come up. I think I saw one. Oh yeah, like right here. I think this, well, that might be a weed. I don't know. I don't know if that's corn or a weed, but yeah, they're coming up. So, okay, here we have our green onions that I'm actually collecting seed this year from. But we have potatoes. We did potatoes all in buckets this year. There's a wasp trying to get me, I think. I did, these are all, I can only do one variety. I do have some red varieties. I think they were just kitchen potatoes that I had bought from the store that were starting to sprout, but all the rest are Kennebecs, I believe. So they're doing really well. I do need to get these on drip still, so they have even watering for the summer. Here, this bed's not looking too hot. I'm finding that where I haven't put compost, things aren't doing so very well, so I need to come in here and put compost. We have a butternut squash here that I'm hoping to just dangle off the edge. We have a okra, and then we have banana peppers in here, and then I did put a sweet pepper in here kind of last minute because it was in another bed that the gopher was eating, and I had bought this bell pepper from the garden store and I did not want it to get eaten. So And then I don't know how these are gonna do, but I did do a hibiscus right there. We have our lemon tree that is just loaded with bees. Ooh. And then over in that corner, I don't know if you can see it, I have my comfrey that I'm planning on making comfrey tea fertilizer with. Okay, this is another bed that a gopher somehow got into. We're not really exactly sure how, because we did put hardwire cloth underneath this, but it was the first one we had put hardwire cloth in, and we kind of did it, we had cut like smaller strips instead of just doing long strips, which made it really difficult, and we think there might have been too much of a gap on the end. So we'll see on that one. Live and learn, right? I just had a tomato plant go down there yesterday. They've eaten, I don't know if you guys remember, in a previous video I had artichokes. These are the only artichokes left. My big ones were alive, but he ate them. The hard part with the gophers, yes, I could dig up all these plants and try and save them, which I want to, but I'm afraid if I take him away and his food source is gone before I kill him or get rid of him somehow, that he's just gonna go to my in-ground tomato bed that I'm gonna show you next. And I do not want that. I am focusing on tomatoes this year. My hope is to do all the tomato products, which I know this is a long shot, but to do all the tomato products I can for canning. And then next year, I don't have to grow as many. And hopefully my tomato products will last me 2 years. So that's kind of the goal with canning tomatoes this year, and peppers, but more so tomatoes. And then next year for gardening, I can just do a few tomato plants for like fresh eating. So let me show you the tomato beds because this is awesome. They're doing so good. So this is what this looks like all the way down. But I have a tomatillo here on the end. And then here are my tomato plants. This bed and the middle one kind of got a later start. Probably like 2 weeks after that first one. I was experimenting with that first one because we were having really cool temperatures and I didn't want to lose all my tomatoes. But we have Paul Robeson here. I guess these are Black Beauties. They're usually darker. We have San Marzanos here. These ones were given to us by one of my husband's customers. It's called a Gus's Treat. Said these were both prolific producers. And then I have heard of Brandywine Pink before, and so he gave us that one too, which was really sweet. I'm excited to see how those do because I've never grown those before. Over here we have our, I don't know how to say this, but it's from M.I. Gardner. I bought the seeds from. That's the tomato variety. It's like a indeterminate style tomato, I think, but kind of a pastier tomato. Rose tomatoes here. I did add in some pumpkins, I think, that I'm hoping will just like drape through the trails here. Didn't put the tags, so I have no idea what they are. I'm forgetting. We'll find out once I get some pumpkins. We did our regular brandywines here. Cherokee purple, which I think there's 4 Cherokee purples right here. Those are our favorite, so I did all 4. I have more alyssum here on the ends. This is a winter pie pumpkin. We have some sweetheart cherries, more Paul Robesons, more Black Beauty, Brandywine Blacks, and I don't know how to say that either. This is another one that I got from M.I. Gardner. So, and then just some different pumpkins and squashes that I forgot to label along the edge here. And I plan to do more over there. Now here, this is gonna be really fun, and I'm really hoping the gophers don't get to this because this is what I think I'm most excited for, guys. A sunflower wall all the way down. We have our mammoth sunflowers, and obviously I haven't been able to get in the garden a ton, so things have been spread out through planting. So I did like different sunflower sections as I could, but we have our mammoths here in the beginning, And then, oh, it's getting smushed. I gotta get something to hold these down a little bit better. I planted a tomato, and then we have more sunflowers here. They're a different variety, so I'm forgetting what the name is, but I'll put it on the screen. We put a tomatillo, and then more mammoth sunflowers here. And then here on the end, I was running out of room, so I added 2 tomatoes. I'm forgetting the variety, I don't remember. I'm bad at labeling this year. And then another pumpkin there on the end, which I think that's a cinnamon girl pumpkin. My orange tree is blooming and blossoming. It's so pretty. These beds over here, mainly just peppers and determinate style tomatoes. Do have some kale on this bed, nasturtium. Trying to add flowers to the garden bed. The soil in these ones, I don't think, that soil that we bought, I don't think it was doing very good. So I'm having to add compost, and they finally kind of start to look good after a while. The cabbage, it's getting way too hot for the cabbage. I pulled those out because they were tiny still. Have cosmos, hibiscus. What's the variety in this one of pepper? I did pull out a jalapeno plant to save one. I think these are green bell peppers because I didn't grow bell peppers from seed this year. Oh, no, these are the Sugar Rush Peach peppers. My vermicomposting stuff is doing awesome. I just dug one up the other day, and it has worms in it. I'm so excited. Pulled my avocado trees in here because they need to get in the ground somewhere. We're gonna take them out of pots. They're not looking too good. Got my onions here. They are starting to flower, and I'm thinking, you guys can tell me if I'm wrong on this, but once they start to flower, they can't store well on the pantry shelf, right? Because I'm thinking of just pulling them and using this bed for something else, because they are getting they're not as big as I thought they would get, and they're starting to flower. And I've always thought I had heard that once they flower, they don't store well they don't like grow much bigger, and they don't store well. So you guys can tell me if I'm wrong on that. Lemon tree over there was looking awful, but it's doing so much better now. And yeah, it's kind of just the overview of the garden. Really quick garden tour. I was kind of in a hurry, sorry. So kind of a mess, still figuring out drip systems for the most part. Got all of it done. Oh, let me go show you the trees. Okay, so just a quick thing, what the trees are looking like. They're doing awesome. This one doesn't have any apples on it, I don't believe, but this one does have some apples, which is so exciting. And then I'm experimenting with composting. I haven't quite started yet. I'm just kind of getting my thing filled up, and we're gonna try a compost ring this year. These are the persimmon trees I planted that I did in another video. And we got all 3 of them planted, and they're looking really good and leafing out, and I'm super excited. My neighbor had given these to me. And then here we have our fig tree, which is looking so cute. I'm so excited. So, and there is just like a few figs on here, just here at the bottom. So there are some figs on there. I don't know if you can see that. Okay, so that was it on the garden tour. Wow, it is so bright out here, guys. I can like not even see the screen, so I hope you can see me. But that was just a really fast garden tour. Make sure I put the names on the screen. I know I mentioned that before, but just because that was so fast. But yeah, that's kind of the garden. And melons. I haven't even planted melons yet, so I really do hope to get around to planting different types of melons. Not as many cucumbers as I wanted to do this year. Gosh, like almost no cucumbers. I was hoping to can maybe some pickles and stuff. So yeah. But honestly, I think the thing I'm most excited for is my corn, and those green stalks are doing awesome. I'm so happy with how those are turning out. And of course, the sunflower wall is going to be really cool. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. If you guys have any suggestions on gophers, I would greatly appreciate it. Seriously, I think I've poured a lot of tears over it because it just feels like once the garlic's gone, I'm like almost like keeping the garlic in to distract him at this point. And it's like once it's gone, I feel like he's just gonna make it over to my tomato bed, and that makes me really sad because there's a lot of tomatoes over there and I don't want them to get eaten. So yeah, let me know your tips and tricks. Feels like I'm getting a late start just because I usually plant things back in like beginning of March. So, and I didn't get anything planted till mid-April. So it's only been in the ground a few weeks, but let me know how your guys' gardens are doing, what you're planting, and maybe any struggles you guys are having this year. So my son is waking up, so I gotta go. But thank you guys so much for hanging out with me, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.